an equation, x squared plus y squared minus 6x plus 8y plus 10 equals negative 6, and we're asked to sketch this equation and describe it as a locus. So the method here, I suppose the first hint you're looking at is there's an x squared and a y squared, and hopefully what that tells you is we're working with a circle. So what we needed to put is the x's together, the y's together, get rid of this 10 and move it to the other side, and then we're going to complete the square. So here's the next line of working. Now what I've done, I've moved the 10 over to make negative 16. If you remember how, well, you have to remember how to complete the square. Half of negative 6 is negative 3, squared is 9. Half of 8 is 4, squared is 16. And in blue, what we do to one side, we do to the other side. Now, from there, we simplify for the next line. And I'm just going to, do it here. So what we have is x minus 3 squared. Now remember that this minus 3 is half of minus 6, so that's where that comes directly into the brackets. Okay, because of course negative 3 squared is 9, so that's how that sorts itself out. Plus y, now half of 8 is positive 4, all squared, and that equals 16 minus 16 is 0, and that is 9. Okay, so we have an equation of a circle, but don't forget this is also 3 squared, which means our radius is 3. Now, sketching. We have centre of 3, negative 4. 3, negative 4 is down here. Okay, so now, again, while your circle doesn't have to be beautiful, it does have to have a degree of accuracy. And this is another reason I chose this example. Radius of 3 means, and before you sketch this thing, again, draw some points. So 1, 2, 3. Radius actually goes through the point there. It goes through the point over here. Okay, now what's that do? It's demonstrating to the examiner that you sort of know what you're doing. Do you have to label each of these points? Look, it's good practice to do that. 6, negative 4. Okay, what's our point in the middle? 3, negative 4, etc. You can do that. So now we've got to sketch it, but noticing that the circle has to touch the axis here, but not reach the axis here. So it's an important point. Again, you may not be using paper. You probably won't be using paper that has this grid here. So you need to do some planning before you do the sketch. Okay, and you do your best circle, which isn't bad. Okay, so there's the drawing of the locus, and we would describe this as the locus of the point P. So, we use this language and this notation, x, y. P is a point that moves such that it is 3 units from a point, okay, or is always equidistant from the point 3, negative 4. It describes a circle. So you need to understand the circle in terms of language and in terms of recognizing at the top what the equation of a circle looks like.